beautiful Irish weather. Now, we were just trying to take shelter here from the rain. I did speak to you in February for the wonderful Juliet Of Verona. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing this is a very different kind of production for both of you.
Yeah, it is. I think it's not an adaptation of anything. It's just purely an original piece written by Ciaran. So it's very, very different, and it's a different process, really. Well,
I know Ciaran got a spark from the very first workshop of Making Waves. This suitcase was sort of thrown in the middle of the floor pretty much, and people improvised and went off on tangents. So it must kind of feel nice that there's a sort of organic process that goes with creation.
Like almost, we've come home to it. See, it was about maybe 2.5 years ago.
Yeah,
myself and Katie have been here for a while. We came down to one of the first workshops that was done, and Ciaran had the case. And that's kind of like where the seed was sown out, I think. Yeah. I think he probably always wanted to come back and do something with that, because it was the first thing he approached us with. So when we saw the script and we saw the case, the light bulb kind of went, oh wow,
old friend. So that kind of inspiration of here's these people on a train, they basically step into alternative universes through this suitcase, and they kind of get to play out fantasies and ideas and all that. I don't know whether for you or for maybe Ciaran suggested certain kind of reference points. I don't know if there was like a bit of Studio Ghibli, or whether there was, Narnia or whatever. There's so many times in fiction that we sort of stepped into alternative universes through a portal. Were there certain references for you guys?
Not really.
I think particularly. I think what the two kind of parts, you could say, of the play are parallels to each other. Really.
Yeah. Right. It's kind of it's about just imagination and boredness, being stuck on a train and having this object that no one knows anything about, and then it's just about your imagination running wild, really, and just the different stories that come out of it.
Right. Of course, a lot of people in Greystones will relate to being bored on a train that's stuck going nowhere, so it'll be a kind of a reality kind of play for them. So when it comes to preparing for these, and I'm guessing it's very different in its preparation to something like Shakespeare, where you're dealing with a much kind of, different kind of genre and different kind of characters, or do you feel, well, it's pretty much the same thing, we just have to figure out who this person is that I'm playing and why they're, who they are and what they're doing and why they're doing it?
I think it's kind of the same, as in we're figuring out what each character, who they really are, but it's different to Shakespeare and doing Juliet Of Verona before, because there's no set characters that have had a story told before for them.
Yeah,
the old arc of
you can't take influence from anything. It's kind of like, it's always the same when you're given a script, you approach it the same, but it's just easier if you're doing an adaptation rather than an original play, because you have the references, you have, like, we all read the story Romeo and Juliet for our third year.
Well remembered.
Yeah.
All those years weren't wasted. So that idea too of I know in Juliet, when you did that in February, there was like 10 in the cast. I'm guessing this is a big cast again, which
much larger actually.
Right.
Yeah, it's good to see loads of young actors and stuff heading down.
There's the newcomers on this involved, right?
But the core group really is still there.
Yeah,
like,
it's very
myself
nice.
And Katie, for example, we I don't want to seem arrogant, but we're like leaders almost.
Yeah, go on.
Humbly leaders.
I was wondering what's with the lederhosen and the leather shoes, and but that feeling too of the joy that's involved in a group of people getting together to put on a production is kind of infectious. I don't know whether you guys already sort of feel, well, this is just great fun, and we'll see where it leads, or is there a hope or a strong sort of sense that you'd like to be doing this when you're 25, 35, 45?
Not for me.
Okay.
I'm kind of the opposite way inclined. I think doing a lot of productions in school combined with the Whale, I've really found I don't know if I call it a calling, but I definitely would at this point.
I call it a calling for you.
Yeah.
For me though, it's more just like a hobby, because I'm not really a sporty type. I don't do sports, and it's just a nice kind of escape. Like, it's a nice outlet for. Obviously, we're in 6th year, and exam pressures.
Nice.
It's heavy, so it's nice to get something to get out of the house for a few hours and take your mind off it.
Definitely.
But I can't see myself heading down a career route.
I kind of just
acting.
Don't think I could do anything else. Really.
Ah, wow. And of course it is a wonderful thing to be able to do art of any shape or form.
Yeah.
But there's also the side to it that it's a precarious life, because it's one thing to be talented, but there is a certain amount of timing, and that sort of makes it lucky that you were there when they needed that person.
It
and
really is.
so does that frighten you at all, or do you feel
I mean, it does, but the kind of hope, there's no real certainty with jobs. at all. There's more so in other jobs, but in acting is very much, not a lot of people get a lot of gigs.
Yeah,
right.
But it's, I don't know.
I don't
feel
really fancy the idea of being a starving artist. But I'll never say never. I mean, it might happen, it might not. I mean, I'm not going to set out to do it, but if I get spotted, hopefully, I won't say no.
Yeah. Well, Ruben seems very practical, so you can borrow money from Ruben later on if he gets a proper job. And so we should say December 12th, Thursday. You've got 6:30 p.m., 8:30 p.m. shows. 2
performances.
Do you get I don't know whether on the night itself it's the nerve thing kicks in, or whether it's just thrilling to be.
I think if you don't have any nerves and don't have that adrenaline, you don't really produce the show that you've been working up to.
It's good to be nervous though, because it shows that you care, if you know what I mean. And you're always going to have nerves before you get on stage in case you fall over and start yourself or something. But I wouldn't say it's not nerves that we don't know what we're doing, because we'll be really prepared. It's more nerves that we don't know how it's going to go. I don't know if that makes sense.
Sure, how the audience are going to click.
And different audiences respond differently.
Yeah.
And we should say, of course, that the euphoria of afterwards. There's always that huge sort of feeling of actual, like you've been to the mountaintop and you've
and then there's the whole come down the day after when you don't have a show to do.
You get a great sense of accomplishment though after a show.
Right.
Well, you've
put all the work into it over such an amount of time.
Right.
Realistically, people are paying for a show, so we've got to provide.
Yeah.
So
I do think it is a wonderful thing that because when I was a young man growing up in St. David's doing school productions, just that feeling was enormously satisfying. That it felt like you'd all been on a coach trip together somewhere and had an adventure. And as the night kind of winds up, that you're back home, but it still felt great that you did kind of take that chance that because it's a tight rope walk. You're going out there in the hope that this will convince people to come with you on this journey.
Yeah, it's
yeah. I was going to start singing there, but I think I won't. It feels like a song was coming on, but I think I'll leave it. Well, good luck on December 12th. We'll put all the links into the actual shows and back to your previous interview. And of course, we're going to look forward to when you're a multi-millionaire businessman and you're a top. Yes, that should be a good career.